Hello everyone, welcome. It's Riley, and today we have a studio update from ArenaNet, and I don't have too much time today, unfortunately, to kind of go through with this stuff with you guys, but I figured let's make a small video, because I haven't really been making a lot of videos right now, as you guys, some of you might have followed what's been going on with me. I just started a new job, and it's been very, like, stressful. There's been a lot going on, so I haven't really had time to make a lot of videos and do a lot of things like that. But I figured, let's do this video. Like I said, I don't have too much time, but it looks like they have a lot of info in here, which is really, really cool. There's a lot of stuff going on. And they even have like the end of the year stuff and whatever. I'm kind of scrolling through. I haven't read any of it. I haven't seen any of it. We do have a trailer. I'm not going to do like a super in-depth trailer analysis, but I do want to look at it. So let's get right into it. So this is the page. It says studio update wrapping up 2024. So let's watch the trailer. Like I said, I have not watched it. I don't know how loud this is going to be for you guys or for me or for anyone. But should be okay. Hold on. I do want to watch it. 4K, please.
Shh, quiet!
Let me tell you a story, one the Ashmakers will weave for centuries to come. The day the Wayfinder and I crawled to the top of Mount Balrior.
Dangerous it is.
Indeed. It is a story of allies pitted against unrelenting challenge. The fight for survival. The tools we use to carve out legend. The sting of betrayal when affection has just begun to bud.
So, what happens?
Well,
Just kind of looking to see what else they have. Interesting. First of 3 updates. Okay. Alright, we already know all this. Is there anything like at the very end? No. Okay. So very interesting. So they just kind of tell a story. So Mount Balrior, we've heard of this. And I'm gonna do it without sound. So in the initial release of Janthir Wilds, we know that Mount Balrior is like the northwestern edge of the first island of Janthir that we're on. Because I think one of the points of interest that's really close by, like that's right by where the like, if you're in Janthir Sentry, and it's for you guys it would be up here, but the northwestern side, that whole corner that really doesn't have a lot going on, and I forgot what they called it. It's where the pools are or whatever. I think one of the points of interest there is like path to Balrior or something, and we didn't really know what Balrior was, because we know that the Mersat city, which is somewhere on Janthir, is called Bavanissos, and we know like a lot of the hints are that that's where we're going to be going, or at least we're going to be touching on that somehow. Like, that is the Mersat city that we've heard about for many, many years now, actually. We've never had a name to it, but apparently that's like further north. But apparently, and someone said this actually on stream to me, which was actually made so much sense, because I said that there was a path that has a steam wall right outside. My cat is like going crazy right now. I don't know why. She always does this. But there's a steam wall right on the far northwestern corner of Janthir Sentry. And I said, oh, this must be the entrance to the next map. And then someone said, rightly so, they were like, well, that could be the entrance to the Convergence. And it looks like that's what it is. So we're going to be going up this mountain for the Convergence. So this is the mountain. We're going to be going up the mountain. We can kind of see a cave here. There's a path going up here. So we're going to be climbing this mountain for the Convergence. We do get to see like some just I think do we see anything new here? I don't think so. But yeah, this is kind of cool. So you kind of it's just like this open field. It looks like. Um, and I guess we're gonna be journeying up this path up to to like we're gonna be escorting something up there. This looks like an escort thing or something. I don't know what's going to happen. We have some camps as well. It looks like, which is kind of crazy. Having camps in PvE, they kind of just show like a really quick shot of it. So I'm trying to get, is it right? Yeah. So we have like this little camp that we have to, which looks like it's further up the mountain. So that's kind of the convergence. Then we get more of the Titan spawn, fighting more of the Titan spawn. We get to see Greer and we get to see Decima as the bosses. This is the legendary spear. So I don't know if you guys are liking it. It looks pretty cool to me. I like the spectral. It looks like you get like these spectral spears that come out, like right here behind you. Probably when you like draw it or something, or like when you attack or something. I think it looks pretty cool. Yeah, betrayal, blah blah blah. Nothing detail wise on like where the story is going. But yeah, so we're fighting Decima and Greer as the bosses. The Klobjarna spear. I'm just gonna mispronounce that completely. Mount Balrior is gonna be the thing there. Trial and Error, Battles Eve, and Balrior Peak. So we have 3. I don't know if this is like 3 chapters. I'm guessing this is 3 chapters that we're getting. New homesteading mastery. We're getting more homesteading stuff. New decorations, new collections and relics, and achievements and rewards. Okay, cool. Pretty nondescript, pretty, like, I don't think there was anything in there beside the Legendary Spear preview that we didn't, and the name of what the raid on Convergence is going to be, but I don't think there's anything, oh my god, mind-blowing new that we saw in this trailer. And usually, ArenaNet is very much like that. They don't give us, like, okay, this is it, right? Like, boom, okay, here's all the stuff, right? So, like, we have seen this picture before, or something similar to that effect, right? So it's like, this is not something crazy new for us, but we knew this was coming anyways. I like that they're expanding on the homesteading even more. It's always nice to see that. But anyways, so let's read through it. Greetings, Tyrians. It's hard to believe it's already been a few months since Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds launched. As we wind down 2024, we'd like to give the community an update about all things Guild Wars 2. Our 5th expansion added one of the most requested features to the game, homesteads. And it's been wonderful watching the creativity of players as they decorate their new homes. You also got to experience the beauty of lowland shores and survive the dangers of Janthir Sentry with your new allies, the lowland Coden. With the Coden's help, you were taught to wield spears and ride the Warclaw like you never have before. But Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds has just begun, and in 1 week you'll be able to join forces to tackle our first raid in 5 years. Craft a new legendary spear and continue your story with the... Yeah, so... not much to say about this, but the only thing is, of course, and I've mentioned this on my streams recently, but, ArenaNet, I feel like has really, like, they've been innovating on a lot of things, and their newest innovation, I would say, their newest, putting a twist, ArenaNet always puts a twist on certain things, right? Like, the mount system, it's not just, like, something that you ride on, but they all feel very different, right? Like... that was something that they did and it worked out really well for them. Like, they do that all the time with certain things. And one of the things is the expansions. I don't think there are a lot of... I don't know very many, myself personally. If you guys know, you can let me know. But I don't know very many MMOs that do... expansions, but they don't release the expansions all at once, but they do it in like, okay, here's the initial release, but then the expansion is going to be wrapping up in like 9 months as we release more content for it. Like, usually when you see an MMO expansion, it's like, okay, it's a whole package, boom, there you go. And ArenaNet used to do that, and they have now tried something new, and it seems to be working for them. I think they seem to like the way that this is working, but I also think that ArenaNet at this point needs to innovate on how they market. Okay, like the marketing, before Secrets of the Obscure came out and Janthir Wilds came out, I applauded them for how well the marketing has been. But then as soon as both of those released, I felt like there was no more marketing. There was nothing really that they were just like, using to market the game anymore. Like I stopped seeing ads for it on YouTube. I stopped seeing ads on like Reddit and like all these things. And I'm like, okay, well, if you're gonna be doing a new cadence of releasing or a new way of releasing your expansions in, okay, we're going to give you an initial packet, but then we're going to give you more updates after that, and we're going to spread it out over a year, then you also need to do that for your marketing, right? Like, because the expansion, like for a lot of people think like, oh, this is the new living world, but it's really not. Like, this is part of the expansion. Okay, this is part of what you have already paid for. Like, some people might say, well, the 3 updates are just the new living world, but it's really like not. And they want it to be like, no, this is the whole expansion. So the expansion is in the middle of releasing. It's not going to be done. This expansion isn't going to be done until the 3rd major release comes out, right? And I think ArenaNet needs to kind of do the same thing with the marketing. Like, you market all the way up to your initial release, but then you don't market after that. Well, you're in the middle of releasing an expansion. You're still in your expansion release. So you kind of need to market a lot more, or at least spread it out, or do some of the things that I've suggested. It's like, I feel like I've given a lot of suggestions. Like I said, we saw this picture. Anyways, like I said, I don't have too much time, and I don't want to spend too much time on this because I always feel like I just blah 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 blah, and then it's like an hour long for no reason. But anyways, Godspawn. So that's going to be the next release that we have coming up. So it's the first of 3 major releases. Like I said, I really want ArenaNet to keep marketing as the stuff comes out. I really love the I've talked so much about the partner program and how I loved that they were taking some of their partners that they have and they involve them in the like previewing the expansion and like showing off some of the stuff that we have coming for the expansion and stuff. Because I feel like those videos, and I've said this many times, I think the most hype that was built up for this expansion and the last expansion was always when one of the people the content creators, it wasn't all partners, there was actually like I think a couple of people that weren't partners, but it's always when the content creators made those videos. I think that built the most hype. So I would love ArenaNet to keep doing that maybe for all these releases and have like pick out different content creators, like, one for every release or something, and like just kind of say like, okay, can you make us a video, like, whatever they do, whatever their specialty is, whether they're artists and they draw like a really cool picture of like a boss or something, or it's someone that talks about the lore, like have Wooden Potatoes do like a little video about like a little preview of like the lore that comes, or have some of the other people like do like a boss preview or something. I don't know, something like that. Like, I would love to see something like that. All right, anyways, Godspawn, the first of 3 major updates to Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds, is coming on November 19th. 3 new story chapters will continue your adventure against the threat of the Titans. Will you and your allies be able to uncover a path to securing peace for the inhabitants of the Isles of Janthir? In addition to new story chapters, there will also be a new raid and convergence, the new legendary spear Klubjarna, whatever, along with a new Wizard's Vault season relics, weapon, and armor rewards. So we're getting new weapon and armor rewards as well, which is cool. I'm looking forward to getting another armor set. I'm almost done with my Woad armor. Relics is also interesting. I just want relics that are significant, that kind of change. Like, I feel like, and I've talked about this, like the relics fall under what the runes used to be, where it's just like 95% of them are useless, and that is still the case, and I feel like that is what's happening with relics as well. So I just want some relics that are actually like competitive in the way that we can use them. A mastery update and new homestead decorations. A mastery update, is that just a homesteading like mastery update, or are we gonna get another one? Are we gonna get something else in there? Stay tuned for previews of the new rewards on in our launch day blog. Okay, I can preview these things at that point myself, so it's kind of funky, kind of weird. Should do a day before or something, I don't know. Just a picture of fighting a boss, see like a missile shooting. That's the new set, the full moon set is really, really cool. That's a Mesmer, because there's a clone over there. Raids are back. In the next week's update, we will be introducing our new 10-person raid, which will take you to Mount Balrior. It features 3 bosses and several smaller varied encounters that will test your coordination and adaptability. So it sounds like they're doing the raid and the convergence, and I'm guessing that the convergence isn't going to be, well, let's kind of read through, because they talk about the new convergence there. So let's kind of read. It features 3 bosses and several of test your coordination adaptability. At the heart of Mount Balrior, Balrior's narrative are Greer the Blightbringer and Decima the Storm. Is it Singer or Singer? I still don't know. Singer or Singer? I don't know. The 2 titans who battled in Janthir's Sentry. After their defeat, they've retreated to Mount Balrior to recover and regroup. This time they won't be alone. Their raid versions bring back the chaotic, relentless attacks of Greer and the structured, strategic mechanics of Decima, but cranked up to new levels of intensity. Expect familiar moves executed in ways that will keep your group on their toes, along with a few completely new surprises that Greer and Decima have in store. On top of, I'm guessing, because they're like, they won't be alone, I'm guessing Ura is going to be there. They haven't mentioned Aura, but there was a little bit of a, I guess in the World vs. World preview, they had like something about, there was like a leak or a preview or whatever you want to call it, but there was like something about Ura. So I'm guessing the 3rd boss is going to be Ura in this. So let's see how different the raid is. So I think the video that we saw is from the raid. So let's see how different the convergence is. Unless it's like just a, updated version. So embark on the new convergence in Lowland Shore. For a different flavor of group content, we're also launching a new convergence in the Godspawn update. Like the convergence in Guild Wars 2 Secrets of the Obscure, up to 50 players can participate in public squads every 3 hours, with private squads able to start anytime. Expect a challenge comparable to the Guild Wars 2 Secrets of the Obscure convergence bosses, with most groups completing it in 20 to 30 minutes. In this journey, Stoic Alder, the Claw of the Lowland Coden, narrates your adventure to young Coden cubs, adding unique story twists with every playthrough. Fans of Greer and Decima will find familiar attacks, but with adaptations that make this event a fresh experience. As our first multi-purpose map, Mount Balrior includes hidden passages and adaptive designs, setting the stage for future rotations of bosses and a challenge mode arriving later next year. This is really cool. I like this a lot. And we'll have to see so on paper, this sounds fantastic. The execution is where it's going to be at, right? So what they're saying is they're going to be going in and they're going to be doing what they, they're going to try to do what they tried to do with explorable paths for dungeons originally. If you guys don't know, when Guild Wars 2 first came out, they had the dungeons were the end game, especially the explorable versions of dungeons were supposed to be done by like level 80 groups. Like you were supposed to go back and kind of redo some of the dungeons with your friends and stuff. And that was supposed to be the end game originally when Guild Wars 2 came out. And the original plan, which never came to fruition, was that when you went through the dungeons, you would have random events pop up. And we do see remnants of this in like Ascalon catacombs and stuff. Like if you guys have ever gone in and like, for example, the troll spawns, there's like several spots where a troll can spawn. Okay, and it's like a random, it might happen, might not happen, might be on this wall, might be on that wall. Like, you never know where the troll is going to spawn. I think there's like 4 different spawn locations for the troll. And the troll's like really strong, but the idea was that these random events would kind of just pop up as you like walk around these dungeons and build like a different experience, right? Like you would have these random things spawn, like maybe the troll's gonna spawn here and maybe it's not gonna spawn at all and we're gonna have something else spawn. And that was kind of the idea. They wanted to have this like dynamic thing where you go into a dungeon and you do the explorable path, and every time you go in you get like a new experience because new things would happen. Now that didn't happen. I think there's only like a couple of dungeons that even have any random events that can pop. There's not too many, but they're trying to do the same thing here. So it looks like that Stoic Alder is telling the story, and he's telling them to the cubs, to the Lowland Coden cubs, and he's kind of like, he's going to be twisting the story around a little bit, and with that is going to be different events that pop up, and different, like you're going to have to take a different path through the mountain, it looks like, because there's like hidden passages and adaptive designs. So it's just like, oh, there's going to be different paths that you have to take through the mountain to get to the very end of it, to kind of give you a unique experience every time you go through it. So again, it kind of depends on how the implementation is. On paper, it sounds great because that way people won't get bored of convergences after doing them 3 times. Because, if we have because it sounds like future rotations of bosses, meaning that they want to add more bosses. And if they add a variety of bosses and we have a variety of passages that you can take throughout, and there's like hidden things that can pop up and maybe have some random events that happen as you go through, it'll be a fresh experience every time you go through, and it gives you more incentive of doing them more often than just like a couple of times. So I like that. It's really interesting. So they're going to be doing a multi-purpose. So it's going to be the raid map, but just made as a convergence. So it's going to be and that's what I was going to say earlier before I started reading this, is like, is it going to be the same map? But it looks like it's going to be the same map, just a little bit different with like different twists on it. So it's going to be also interesting to see how different it's going to be from the raid experience. Like, is it just going to be really like 50 more people, and the health is, and the boss's health is like, it adjusts to like there being 50 people? Or is it like a different experience? Is it going to feel a little different? Is it not going to feel like, is it going to be like a 10-man raid versus 50-man raid? Or is it going to be a 10-man raid and then actually convergence, which is going to give you a different experience, right? So I think that's going to be important to kind of pay attention to as we like kind of go through. And this is, again, you guys have to remember to be like, I'm a very critical person. I like to give them I like to give feedback, whether they listen to it or not. I don't, I'm not big enough of a content creator for them to really listen to the things I say, but I like to give feedback. I like to be constructive on the feedback. But just remember, this is the first time they are doing something like this. So give them feedback. Let them know what worked, what didn't work, right? Don't just like, ugh, this is just going to be stupid and we hate it and whatever, right? Like, give them feedback on how to improve this, so that they know for the next expansion that's coming out next year, what they can improve, and how, and is this worth it? Is it worth to do the raid and convergences both? Or would the community rather just them focus on like just raids and just like make those really good, and just kind of bring in more people into the raiding, and just kind of forget about convergences or whatever, right? So this is going to be the moment where they're testing once again something new, right? They're bringing raids back, but they're testing out how they're going to implement the raids without putting a whole new load of work on their people, on the designers and stuff, by kind of having it be a multi-purpose map, right? So anyways, World vs. World. I did not watch the stream. I didn't hear great things about it, so let's kind of read about this. Our team is focused on refining core systems in World vs. World while we continue planning for some of our larger long-term goals. One major area of focus is incentivizing winning, or in other words, creating shared goals that encourage teamwork. So this has been a huge issue that we've been dealing with, because the incentive, they've been talking about creating an incentive for World vs. World for a long time now, and they never really did. They did by like creating like legendary items and stuff like that, but there was no the continued incentive for people to win was kind of like server pride, right? It was always just like, people wanted their server to be the best, right? And there wasn't major, like, it wasn't just like, oh my god, we're patriotic towards our like server or whatever, right? But it was just like, it was just like there was a little bit of an incentive. People that were on servers for a long time, they kind of like, I was on Blackgate for a long time, and it's just like there was a little bit of server pride because we were one of the best servers at some point, right? And it I was just, there was a little bit of like, yeah, we want to win, kind of, right? But now that the new system has been implemented, that's kind of been lost, right? We don't have that incentive anymore, because every week I could be in just like a randomly named server, and I don't even know the people that I'm playing with, and it's all like different people, and I could be fighting the people I was playing with, like I could be facing the people that I played with last week. They could be my enemy now. And it's just like, it's like, okay, this is like every week it's like new. So they need to create some kind of incentive, right? We've consistently heard 2 key pieces of feedback. Players often have different preferences for defending versus not defending, and more generally, many players feel there aren't enough incentives to win matchups. By aligning team goals around winning, we hope to address both of these issues. It's a big task, but it's one we're dedicated to, and we're excited to start rolling out improvements. Okay, so they want to create incentives for defending, because there really hasn't been that much incentive, because the thing is, like, if you defend, okay, you keep the thing, right? And it's fine, whatever, but you don't get anything out of that. You don't really get rewarded that much. You get, like, the really, like, if you defend Stoneless Castle, you get rewards from that, but not necessarily when you do other things. So it's with other things, it's just like you gain a little bit of like experience or whatever, and it's just like whatever. But um you know, the thing is, like, not defending has more benefits usually, because then the other group gets to take over that tower or whatever, right? And then you get to take that tower back, and then you get better rewards than defending it. So it's always been kind of like iffy on the defending, not defending, and then and then the long-term goals. So it's good that they're aware of these issues. It's just going to be interesting to see what they're planning on doing to fix that. We're also making some significant scoring adjustments for the first time in a while. This is an essential step in aligning player goals and encouraging teams to prioritize winning together. We've updated points per kill values, the points for capturing objectives, and we'll soon launch adjusted victory point numbers tailored to different time zone coverage. Okay, interesting. So they're looking at, like, participation, like, of different, like, based on victory points. Victory points being, I think, when you, like, win skirmishes and stuff like that, which is like a set amount of time, and if you're, like, successful, you get, like, a set amount of points. And then points per kill, you get, like, they're doing different values. So they're looking at, like, kind of just like some of the core systems. They're kind of digging down into, like, how the point system, and they got to kind of set up the point system in order to get to the point where they can say, okay, now that we know the point distribution and how we want to do the things, we can now find out, like, a good goal to solidify, like, incentivizing playing the game mode or whatever. In the short term, we've been updating several key parts of World vs. World game elements. We've overhauled the siege system, improved the participation system to make earning repel credit more consistent, and introduced new attribute combinations to exclusive to World vs. World, alongside tweaks to existing ones that don't impact PvE. We're also working to adjust certain tactics and strengthen objective lords to better serve as rally points for defenders. To make World vs. World more rewarding, we've added unique skins, infusions, new ways to spend World vs. World. Yeah, they did do that, and that, I think, came out really, really well. I think the way to gain the new infusion, I hope they add some new infusions in the future, but new ways to spending World vs. World currency, I think they did a great job. I think that again, this could be something they can expand on, but I think they did really good with this. We'll have to see how this all really, like, pans out in the long run, because the earning repel credit more consistently is very important. I heard that they're overhauling the siege system. I haven't really looked at that. I'm probably going to be doing a World vs. World stream at some point, and we're going to talk about that more in depth. Accessibility for new players is key goal 2. The War Claw is now immediately available. Mastering it is faster, and new exotic gear with the selective. Okay, that's super nice. I do like that a lot. I'm a fan of that, because I think the collection, in order to get the War Claw in World vs. World, was never really fun. It was just kind of tedious. There was never really anything engaging about it. We see one of the Borderlands here. Great. Restructuring and competitive updates. The World Restructuring team is currently focused on larger improvements to the team creation algorithm, with special consideration given to improving the issue described in this forum post. We're also enhancing the guild panel with a new UI element that displays which members have selected the guild as their World vs. World guild, making it easier for guilds to coordinate their World vs. World activities and avoid missing team creation lockout deadlines. Additionally, we're updating the character select screen, replacing world selection with a region selection UI panel. This will allow seamless transfer between North American and European data centers. With this change, intra-region transfers will no longer be necessary, which also eliminates the risk of spending gems on redundant world transfers. Regional transfers will now have a flat 500. Oh, okay. Interesting. So you can kind of change regions. Intra-region transfers will no longer be necessary. So intra-region meaning, like, I don't need to go to another, like, World vs. World thing or something, or North American thing or whatever, will no longer be necessary. Interesting. Okay, so they're changing that a little bit. I like it. Also, for players who took part in our PvP push beta, I did not play that at all. We recently sent out a survey to gather feedback. Also, this is something that I've been talking about so much, and I'm glad that they touched on this. Surveys. I love it. I love it. I think they need to do more surveys because surveys are anonymous, right? They get sent to you. They need to do more surveys on all of these things. I think they need to send out surveys, incentivize people filling out the surveys because I don't have an incentive to fill out. Like, I don't have an incentive to go into my email and look to see where the surveys are. Give me an incentive to filling out the surveys. That is something that they really need to look into. I love that. And we'll be reviewing the responses and then determine our next steps for the game mode. There will be more push news in 2025 as we continue to work with the community on building the push PvP mode. And then a picture again, facing off against the raid/convergence. On the Epic Stores game, will be making its debut on the Epic Games Store later this month, and we're thrilled to welcome a new batch of players to the world of Tyria. Guild Wars 2 has been captivating players for the past 12 years, and we're excited. So Epic Games Store, expanding the availability of Guild Wars 2 is always nice. I know a lot. Personally, I know a lot of people that use the Epic Games Store, so that's gonna be great. I think the influx of, I think Steam was a great success. I think a lot of people, I get Guild Wars 2 suggested to me on Steam all the time. I don't play through Steam, right? Because I've always been playing through the regular game client or whatever. But it's great. I mean, it's for anyone that's looking for this type of game, Guild Wars 2 gets suggested to me all the time. And I play those types, like fantasy RPGs and stuff like that. I play those all the time. So it gets suggested to me all the time, and I love it. And I think we've been seeing a huge influx of new players. I just think that ArenaNet needs to kind of learn on how to handle these new players with a game that's 12 years old. I think there's a little bit of a disconnect a little bit because ArenaNet right now is focused on giving us more, us veterans, more things, and they've had this focus for a long time because we never really had a huge influx of new players. But over this last year, I've really realized how many new players. There's new players all the time, and it's just kind of I think it's time for ArenaNet, and I've talked about this a lot, for ArenaNet to kind of look back at the core game a little bit and update that a little bit. And I will be making a video on that at some point soon as well. So stay tuned for that. We'll talk about that more in the future. Wrapping up 2024. While the year may be coming to a close, there's still plenty of things coming up for Guild Wars 2. November and December will also include more events. A 2-week New Heroes Jumpstart event, a birthday bash for Evan Nashblade. Birthday, I love that they put that in quotations. And Winter's Day coming up on December 10th. Lunar New Year and second skills, and a second skills and balance update will be coming along near the end of January 2025. Around then, a little after, we'll be back to talk about the next few months of Guild Wars 2. Okay, so we're gonna get probably a new update here. So in November we have the Godspawn launch. They're going to be doing a new hero jumpstart event, Epic Games Store launch, and I think this is the first time they've done an Evan Nashblade birthday celebration. So I'm not sure exactly what that entails. That might have something to do with the gem store or something, like Blackline Trading Company. I don't know, something. December only has Winter's Day. Winter's Day is a great event. It just kind of sucks because it's just that, but it's fine. We have Godspawn coming out, so I think we'll be okay for the next couple months. And then Return to Iceboot Saga event. Okay, so we have a Return to PvP Rush event, and Skills and Balance update in Lunar New Year. Okay, cool. So we have extra life in-game bonus, so that's that's still going. We have another week of this, the life bonus, and then starting today we have the New Hero Jumpstart event for 2 weeks. That's going for 2 weeks. You can gain a ton of experience. So if you guys are looking to level new characters or anything like that, or World vs. World, right now is the time to really jump in there because you can get a ton of stuff. Then the birthday celebration, that's going to be going on for for a whole week there, and then for almost a whole month. It's 3 weeks of Winter's Day, so that's great. We've already seen this, we've already known about this, so a final reminder, this is what's coming. Yeah, we don't, I hate that it says story continued, but we're getting map 3 Map 3 is coming sometime in, I'm guessing they're going to be talking about it, then I'm guessing like, because at the end of January, so I'm guessing like February is going to be the next one, right? And that's like 3 months from now. So this is what we're getting now until the next release, just so you guys know. So I think this is a lot. I think this is like plenty of stuff. It depends on how in depth all of these things are that are coming. I really want them to do bigger skills and balance updates. They have been kind of diminishing, like to the point where they make these changes that are so whatever, they're just like whatever, like there's nothing great about them, there's nothing. Sometimes they like I want them to really shake up the game, like I want them to shake up the meta, right, and like kind of change some things and redo some of the weapons, but I feel like at this point I've been hoping for that every skills and balance update that they've been doing, and we never get that. So but anyways, that's going to be pretty much it. Nice and quick. Like I said, I don't have too much time today, unfortunately, but yeah, so that's kind of like my opinion on all these things. If you guys want more opinions and talk about this, I've already said that this Thursday, which is going to be the 14th. Yeah, the 14th. I'll be doing some World vs. World probably. I want to do some World vs. World streaming while we have the bonus going on and stuff like that, and just kind of talk to you guys about some of the stuff like future of Guild Wars 2 right now that we have the studio update, and getting like a preview of what's coming, like kind of talk about the state of the game, talk about these types of things, and I'm trying to get this week. I'm starting to get back into the flow of making videos and stuff. Like I talked about this last night on stream, but I've been writing some more scripts for videos that I've been wanting to do for you guys and stuff. So hopefully we'll be going, like I'll be able to release some more of the stuff, because I have a bunch of videos that I want to make for you guys. I have right now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos on top of the 9 videos that I'm working on right now. So there's a lot of videos that I want to make, and yeah, it's just some of the stuff is like really, I'm like, yes, I want to make that. So it's super exciting stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will for the Godspawn release, by the way, I will not be streaming it the day of. I will probably because unfortunately I don't have off on Tuesdays anymore, so I don't get to stream on Tuesdays anymore, but I will probably be doing it on Thursday. I'm guessing because that's usually my new day off, is like Monday and Thursday. So probably not on the 14th, but then what, the 21st, I will be doing the playthrough of Godspawn and the story and stuff, which I think is kind of good, because that's when all the big content creators and streamers and stuff have already done their part, and all that is pretty much like, the bugs have been fixed and like all these things, and a lot of people are, because I don't stream on Twitch, and I feel like most people watch on Twitch, so it kind of gives you guys the chance to kind of come watch me. I usually stream around 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, but if you miss the streams, all of my streams are on the live tab on YouTube, because they automatically get uploaded. So if you miss any streams, you guys want to watch any of my streams, they're all on my live tab on the YouTube channel. So they're all there for you guys to watch. So even if you missed my playthrough of that, you can watch them day after or whenever. So anyways, I have to head out now. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys hopefully on Thursday. All right, bye guys.